Omni-Man versus the Powerpuff Girls. One of the most powerful Viltrumites out there is facing off against three girls made up of sugar, spice, and everything nice. This fight has definitely made its way around the internet. But if it were to actually play out, who's going to be the last one standing? Really, is it even going to be close? Also, shout out to my lovely wife who's been asking for this matchup for forever. So let's get into it. Now, for this video, we're going to be kinda using a composite version of Omni-Man, taking the comics, what we've seen from the TV show, and mashing them into one. So all feats apply to figure out just how powerful Nolan is. Just not his feats from Mortal Kombat, of course. And because of that, spoilers ahead from the comics for what lies ahead for the TV show. Now, Omni-Man is a Viltrumite, and we're the largest and most powerful empire throughout the galaxy. And why are the Viltrumites so powerful? Well, it's because they have access to smart atoms, molecularly the same as normal atoms, but they give access to all sorts of powers on the atomic level. And Viltrumites are unique because they can use smart atoms for a whole lot of different powers: super strength, super speed, flight, and they're the only race in the universe to have smart atoms literally encoded inside their DNA. That's what makes them so powerful. And just how powerful are they? Well, with super strength, Nolan Grayson is one of the best. In his fight against Invincible, Omni-Man was punching Mark so hard that he was shaking entire mountains, and doing this repeatedly. In fact, Omni-Man was sending Mark flying all over the planet, causing earthquakes each time that he landed. That was against his own son. He was holding back there. Time and time again, he was able to punch through Immortal, ripping him in half, cutting his head off with his bare hand, or even with Thrag's kids. He was able to splatter several kids with each punch he threw. Both the Immortal and those half Viltrumites have some great durability feats. Nolan is still leagues above them. Then there's also the time where Omni-Man claimed they managed to stop an asteroid the size of Texas. Just think about that for a second. An asteroid the size of Texas. That's a planet-destroying extinction level event right there. That would be about 7 billion metric tons of meteor he had to stop, not even taking into account acceleration or anything like that. That lines up with what Nolan has done in the comics, where him, Mark, and Thaddeus teamed up to destroy the planet Viltrum, a planet that's roughly twice the size of Earth. Now, sure, that's two other Viltrumites helping him there, and Space Racer shot the planet with his gun in order to destabilize the core. But still, that's a multi-continental feat at least. Omni-Man is seriously powerful. In fact, Omni-Man is arguably one of the strongest Viltrumites you're ever gonna see. He's a trusted officer who was given the duty to conquer a planet all by himself. And true, old, accomplished Viltrumites like that are in a tier all their own. Like Conquest, we can casually bust out of solid 400-ton solid steel blocks encasing all around his body, as well as 6 miles of earth caving in on top of him. Omni-Man is still more powerful. In fact, the only Viltrumite we ever saw definitively prove he was stronger than Omni-Man was Thrag, and he did it pretty definitively. That actually leads us into our next point: durability. And again, it's something that Viltrumites are great at, and Omni-Man is one of the best of all of them. He's been pretty much unaffected by any attacks from Immortal. He was unaffected by any of the attacks from Invincible during their first fight too. And in fact, Omni-Man has regularly been able to take attacks from all sorts of different Viltrumites and not really gone down. or been all that injured. He's actually so tough that, like we said, even other Viltrumites legit just splatter against him on impact. He's taken massive nuclear lasers and survived it completely unscathed, even taking nukes at point blank range, not even being slowed down. Now, all this isn't to say that Omni-Man can't be damaged. He can, and he's taken some absolutely devastating attacks in the past. He's been beaten up by several Viltrumites as they double, triple teamed him. Then in pretty much every fight that he's ever had with Thrag, well, he usually ends up nearly on the brink of death. The first fight, well, he ultimately got overpowered and was straight disemboweled when Thrag punched his hand through Omni-Man's body. Omni-Man still survived. Another fight, well, Thrag beat Omni-Man so bad that his eye straight up popped out of his skull. Still survived. He went against Thrag a third time too. It was nearly torn in half. Still managed to keep himself alive. So basically, Nolan has an incredibly impressive healing factor and can survive almost any injury. But two, well, it takes a whole heck of a lot to actually injure him or put him down. Just because Omni-Man can take nearly any attack or any injury and just refuses to go down or be killed. His durability is just simply off the charts. And pretty much any injury he does take, well, he can heal from it. The only way that Omni-Man can actually be completely put down is by damaging his heart enough where his heart can't help with the healing and repair. But everything outside of that, and I mean everything, Nolan is gonna survive it. Then even simply with speed, Omni-Man, like all other Viltrumites, has the ability to move well above the speed of light. He was able to slaughter all the Guardians of the Globe in just moments, despite having a super speedster of their own in Red Rush. In the comics, Omni-Man put down the Guardians even faster. They didn't even have the chance to react to his attacks. He's well faster than Invincible during their first fight. Invincible is legitimately moving in slow motion, and he's well faster than other Viltrumites too. Then even just simply flying around, Nolan is much faster than the speed of light. When he left Earth, he decided to travel to another planet with life, and that journey took him about a week. But not just any planet, but a planet in the Virgo supercluster, which is 65 million light years away from the Earth. He traveled that span in just about a week, making him massively, massively faster than the speed of light. No questions asked. And all these powers, his strength, his speed, even his durability, is best put on display when Omni-Man decided to completely and utterly destroy the Flaxen Empire. And I do mean completely destroy it. He flew through a continent-sized city fast enough to where he was literally causing nuclear-level destruction as he flew around. Basically, how that works is that as he reached light speed, or even just under the speed of light, Nolan was hitting molecules and atoms in the air with so much speed and force that it's causing nuclear fusion, leveling continent-sized cities and sending the entire planet back to the Stone Age. He just kept 3 of them alive in order to send him back, and then killed them too. In short, whether it's in the show or the comics, Omni-Man has just been able to consistently prove that he's not only the most powerful being on Earth, but he's just regularly proven himself to be one of the most powerful Viltrumites as well. The lonely Professor Utonium, with no children to call his own, toiled away in a laboratory, mixing chemicals together an attempt to create the perfect little girls: sugar, spice, and everything nice. Chemical X mixed in with the professor's brew caused a reaction, resulting in the formation of the trio of superpowered siblings, who later become known as the Powerpuff Girls. Blossom, the commander and the leader, Bubbles, the joy and the laughter, and Buttercup, the toughest fighter. They wake up, go to school, beat up the bad guys, and save the day. Now, all three of the Powerpuff Girls are ridiculously strong, tough, and fast. Like, some of the stuff they've done in the past is frankly just insane. All three of them are able to easily move buildings, ranging up to being able to casually lift up skyscrapers. They manage to stop and shatter Earth-destroying meteors on multiple occasions. Buttercup has battled against a giant monster, sent it flying so far that it launched past the moon and showed absolutely no signs of slowing down. And another time, Buttercup found herself in a lifting competition with Big Ben. And Big Ben starts out by lifting a car, then an elephant, then a castle. Buttercup replies by lifting a bus, a blue whale, and a small skyscraper. This frustrates Big Ben, who tears off and lifts the top of Mount Everest. But Buttercup goes and lifts him while he's still holding Mount Everest's peak. So yeah, safe to say these girls are all very strong. They're also very tough. They've all been launched across towns or punched through buildings or punched with buildings, and none of it truly seems to faze them. And considering that they've regularly been manipulated into fighting against each other, or can fight against opponents, or their relative equals like the Rowdy Rough Boys, well, it's safe to say that the girls' durability should pretty directly scale to their strength. They've casually flown to the Earth's core and been unfazed. They've taken point-blank nuclear bombs, really none the worse for it. The girls even taken a solar flare before, and all it left was a pretty severe sunburn that they said would have been fixed with just sunscreen. So yeah, safe to say that they're pretty impossible to injure. And they're not just strong, they're not just tough, they're also really fast. It just comes with the territory. It's a little difficult to get a gauge on their true top speed, but they've been able to see energy beams move in slow motion around them and easily outpace them, beat super speedsters in a race around the Earth in just 5 seconds, and even move so fast that they've been able to travel back in time, so like ridiculously fast. I guess it's debatable on whether or not you want to put them as faster than light, but if they're not truly faster than light, then they're definitely flirting with it, considering they're quick enough to move through time. And it's not just that the Powerpuff Girls are all crazy strong and fast and tough, but they have even more powers on top of it. Like Blossom has got ice breath and fire breath. They can turn invisible. They have heat vision, fire out energy blast, and literally just so much more. The three girls are great at teaming up and using their powers together and unleashing some super team moves. Basically, end of the day, the Powerpuff Girls are kinda crazy powerful. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, the thing about this fight is that it's a 3v1, so you don't just have to argue that Omni-Man is more powerful than one of the girls, but all three of them. I just don't think that's gonna happen. One girl is enough to give him a good fight. Three? That's just too much. Now, Omni-Man is seriously powerful, like seriously powerful. Massively strong, incredibly fast, and ridiculously tough. Like, Nolan has even shown off a few multi-continental to even planetary feats for himself. Like he's resisted the pull of a black hole before. His son Invincible was able to smash a moon into Mars' surface, which Omni-Man should definitely scale to. Then his best feat, obviously, helping to 3-shot the entire planet of Viltrum, which is bigger and heavier than the Earth. Of course, there are a lot of caveats that go in with that. Like, it took 2 other Viltrumites to do it, and Space Racer had to shoot the planet with his gun in order to destabilize the core, or else they wouldn't have even been able to do it and might have been killed in the process. Still though, a very impressive feat, definitely one of Omni-Man's best. Nolan is also ridiculously fast. The best that we've seen from Omni-Man is being able to fly across galaxy clusters, possibly even reaching up to billions of times the speed of light. It's been said before that his travel speed and combat speed is supposedly the exact same. So yeah, Omni-Man is stupid fast. He's also very, very tough. Tough enough to survive planetary destruction. And while all Viltrumites are kind of famous for fighting through fatal injuries, Omni-Man seems to take it to another level. So yeah, don't want to seem like I'm underselling Omni-Man here, but each of the girls is able to do similar things to this. Like Bubbles is fast enough to circle the Earth in just seconds, while she really wasn't even trying. All three of the girls are fast enough to fly to the sun in seconds, or even travel through time. Now, you can still argue that Omni-Man holds a speed advantage in the fight, but is it enough of an edge to say that he can hold all three of them off at once? I don't think so. Traveling through time with just pure speed, it's like straight up a Flash level feat. And it doesn't just stop there. The girls have lifted mountains or destroyed meteors that were going to destroy the Earth. So even if you want to argue that Omni-Man is stronger than just one of them, is he stronger than all three of them? Not to mention that the girls are cartoon characters. They have Toon Force powers and abilities. When they're combining their powers and working as a team, well, they have some small planet level feats. It's totally not outside the realm of possibility that the three girls just ping pong Omni-Man around and there's nothing he can do about it. But of course, they're also cartoon characters. For as many good feats and high showings they have, they got just as many low showings, and getting beat by people they have no right to lose to. So I guess it depends on how you want to scale it. But using all the characters at their best, well, Powerpuff Girls should definitely be winning this fight. Omni-Man is a serious threat, but he's definitely met his match here today. The Powerpuff Girls win.